We're on problem number 8, and we have here, I think, one of the more interesting ways to approach the number line. Now, we didn't teach you this earlier when we were using the number line. We were saving it for now because we were really trying to teach you the relationship of one point to another. So we were trying to determine a midpoint, for instance, and we simply just hopped and skipped across the number line. And really, it was more of an approach of addition and subtraction. Now we're looking at this really from another level, and we can see that the average of two numbers, x and y, is the number midway between them on this number line here. So we have, let's see, let's draw up this number line. Now, well, it's not even a number line, right? Because there's letters. There's a variable line, isn't it? Well, it's a number line. We have x here, and we have y. We just don't know what those numbers are. Okay, and then we have a midway point that we're pointing to right here. Okay, and they're drawing here that midway point A is equal to x plus y divided by 2. Okay, now you may have done that problem back in the previous chapters when we were using number lines, but again, the relationship we were trying to show you before was really more of a positive and negative movement, but now we're going to approach it again, like I said, from a different angle, different level, and we can create a formula here. A is equal to, this A being this point, okay? In fact, I could probably just put the letter A here so we know. And that A, that point, is equal to A, and again, that's not area, it's just the letter A, is equal to x plus y divided by 2. Now, let's take a quick look down here and say we need to solve this formula for x. Okay, so let's solve it for x. So let's go up here. I'm going to point up here, and we're going to have, the first thing we want to do is put x to the left. So we're going to put x plus y divided by 2 is equal to A. Now you might say, well, okay, what do we do here, Mr. Cartagena? I'm dividing by 2, so how would I get that 2 out of the way? Well, if we're dividing by 2, we're taking the inverse operation, means that we need to multiply now. So if we multiplied this entire expression, okay, I'm just going to make a little curve, and multiply this by 2, okay, I'm just putting in my parentheses, we'll make it look better later on, which basically means we have 2 times x plus y, right? We can just put 2 over 1, and that's over 2. And then we have over here 2a, right? Now we can go ahead and get rid of our 2, and now we'll end up with x plus y is equal to 2a. Now we're solving this for x, so we now have to subtract y from each side, and that will give us, I'll put my little equal sign there, that'll give us x, because the positive y and negative y will cancel out, and that means x is equal to 2a minus y. Okay, so we solve this now for x. Now we're going to solve it for y. Well, it would have been the same thing. Up to here, we would have done this step, and we would have done this step as well, but now we're left here with x plus y is equal to 2a. So what I would do is I would have x plus y is equal to 2a. I would now subtract x from each side. Okay, and that would give me y. Oops, running out of room here. Y is equal to 2a minus x. Okay, now we're told to use the formula above to find the average of 3 and 11. Okay, so if we were to put in 3 for the x value and y, we would use 11. We would simply add the two together. I'm going to go over to the other side of the board, and use the formula above to find the average of 3 and 11. So the average is equal to 3 plus 11 divided by 2, and that would be my x and y value. Of course, this would have to be 3. In a number line, the smaller number goes to the left. And then we would have a is equal to 14 divided by 2, so a would equal 7. Okay, so now we're told to check your answer for part C of this exercise in your formula for part A, letting x equal 3 and y is equal to 11. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I'm going to just clear up the board here, so I'm going to pause the video. Actually, we can just use this small section here right underneath to do problem, at least problem D. Check your answer again. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the this formula x, which was our part A. Part A was x is equal to 2 times A, and we're getting a little confusing. I'm sorry. Let me just not put parentheses around there. Let me just write it the way we originally wrote it. 2A minus y. And again, we're just checking our answer to see if this is correct. And we know x is equal to 3. Again, we're using this formula, which was the answer to part A, where we'd have 3 is equal to 2 times 7. Now I'll put my parentheses, 2 times 7, minus 11. Let's see if that works out. So we use this formula first to solve. We knew what x and y were, so we put in 3 and 11, and we got our answer was 7. So a is equal to 7. So now we're just checking that answer by plugging it in here into this formula that we had all the way down here, and we're bringing it back up here. And what are we going to get? 3 is equal to 14 minus 11. And yes, 3 is equal to 14 minus 11 is 3. So it is correct. So we are checking that. Okay. Now, we have more problems here. We're told to use the formula above to find the average of 2 and negative 8. And then we're just going to use part B, which would have been a y equals 2. So this is kind of repetitious. It's just using another set of numbers. Now, the only thing here is you must be very careful because we're dealing with a negative 8. Now, where would negative 8 be? Well, negative 8 would actually be the x, because remember, we're dealing with a number line, and numbers that are smaller, in this case it's a negative number, it would be all the way to the left, which means that you would be adding negative 8 plus 2. And if we didn't get this right, you might end up with the wrong number. Now, you could actually add them either way since we're adding. But I only say that in respect to this because we're applying this to a formula that's adding. It's perfectly fine. But if you were subtracting, the order in which you're doing things is very important. So always be careful and just follow the formula. Put in the x value where it needs to be and put in the y. And that way you always make sure that your information is where it needs to be and that you're not going to get a incorrect answer. Rather, you want a correct answer. You want to make sure that your values are where they need to be so you can avoid that problem.